For modifying mannequins, it's really helpful to have an initial fabric covering because that means that you can stitch or attach extra pads to it quite easily. You know, if you've got a hard form, it's quite slippery, things fall off, it's hard to contain it. That's why traditionally we quite like the cloth covered forms. But if you don't have that and you've got a hard plastic form, there are ways around that. You can either make a cover, or if you're doing an initial padding, you can use things like pantyhose, cut them, pop them on over the top of your plastic form and use padding judiciously to get the shape that you want, and then you can put a final stretch knit cover over the top. And stretch knit covers are quite straightforward to make. They're just, you know, you make it to basically a tube that's stitched over the top, maybe with a bit of a shape for the neck and shoulder, and that will help to give a really good consistency to your mannequins as well. You can choose to have all cream, stretch knit or black. It will just help to create a unified appearance. We also use a lot of shoulder pads and padding because they're a really good shape for not just for shoulders but also for hips, thighs, tummies. They're just a quick way of getting a nice shape. And because they often come in pairs, you know that you can get a symmetrical appearance when you're mounting them. Other things that are really helpful can be just a common old bra. Can be really effective, particularly for more contemporary costume where you want to have, you know, particular shape and your mannequin's too small. It just keeps things in the right location. Otherwise, we make little pads, so these are just little cotton shapes that we've got an opening at one end and some Dacron filled in there, and we keep the opening so that we can bulk that up with extra wadding should we need to, and they're quite useful again for just quickly adding shape to a body. Acid-free tissue paper is really helpful. It's easy to scrunch and then shove up into whatever shape you need, long and skinny for an arm or a leg, or something more round for other body areas. Pool noodles are really helpful. They can be cut down, shaped, again, as a nice form for a foundation of a leg or an arm. They're a really useful thing to have in your kit. It's really helpful to have a kit on hand. If you're wanting to do a lot of photography of costume and you want to move through it fairly quickly, you need to be prepared. And part of that is having enough pads and shaping that's ready to go so that you can quickly adapt your mannequins as you need for the different sizes and shapes and silhouettes of the costumes that you're working with at the time.